Normally I leave the commentary in, but there isn't much to be said in this video. I was pretty focused on playing and I didn't say very much. So I'm just going to point out a few things as it goes along. So the video starts and we're headed into the Rotten Boss room, going to the Sunken Crown DLC. The first question I have is, why is the DLC here? I mean, I understand the Sunken City is supposed to be at the lowest point in the game, but you have to teleport to here, and then you have to go over and talk to this teleporter, and it seems really redundant. You're like, of course someone would say the whole Dark Souls 2 is completely redundant because it doesn't have anything to do with Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3, but whatever. It's all fair. So the first room, you're in some kind of burial ground. I mean, strange tombstone-like things kind of caught my attention, but it reminded me of that song that I can't play because YouTube is evil and copyrights and all that stuff. So I figured the next room was going to be really dark, and that's why they gave you this torch thing to light here, so I lit up a torch, and I'm stupid for thinking that the game is actually trying to help me. And the dark hallway is actually better lit than my entire house. The long tunnel was interesting, though. Kind of drives home the concept that this place is ruined capital. Either that or they haven't cleaned it in a long time. But I keep hearing this noise. That noise. What the fuck is that? Naturally, it's Sin the dragon. Sin the sleeping dragon. Great way to make me shit my pants and spoil the last boss of the DLC. I almost fall off a ledge. And then around the corner, I find the first bonfire. I no longer have to be afraid of 2 load screens. Downstairs I find a potion that increases my strength. And this would be amazing if I didn't already have 2 of them in my inventory. The next room has an elevator that probably acts as a shortcut, but for now it's just an endless pit in which you can throw in your hopes and dreams. So there's only one other path to go, and I stumble upon a sleeping soldier. And in the next area, I start getting shot by archers. So I take cover behind this light column thing. It has a strange looking base to it. I take a swing at it, and yeah, I was right. The downside is that I have now activated the switch, and I no longer have cover to hide from. So now that I have cover, there's more soldiers and more switches. It would seem like the people of Shilva really like puzzles. I mean, they'd have to, because nobody would really design elevators like this. It has to be a puzzle, because no one would really design elevators like this. I mean, you have to hit a switch and then run to the platform. Imagine carrying your groceries. Do you drop your eggs while you're running to the elevator? It just doesn't make sense. After a handful of fights, I find myself lost. I end up backtracking to the puzzle area, or at least I think I'm backtracking, because this area looks just like the other area. And all the puzzles are pretty much the same. Then again, maybe I'm just terrible at visually identifying one rock from another. I get tired of killing the thousands of guards all over this place. So I tried giving them a taste of their own medicine. In the middle of teaching this guy a great life lesson, I fall to my death. I really hate bringing this up again, but remember the poor architectural design? I mean, there should have been a handrail on this cliff. So I start getting better at the elevator puzzles. I find a bonfire. I take a look around and see that I'm only 2 short jumps away from path to the temple. Sweet shit. I jump down once and decide to look around. And there's one enemy. And a ton of pots. I said pot, and suddenly Penguin gets all excited. Calm down, Penguin. I go smashing the pots and make a bad roll into a hole which I thought would have killed me, but instead I find myself surrounded by enemies. By the time I exit out, I'm back where I started. So, this catches me. I'm 2 jumps down, back at the beginning, and then I walk through the building to the other side, and here's the pathway to the temple. So why did I go all the way around and do those giant jumping puzzle platformer bullshit if I could have just taken a left and walked over this way? I feel like the game just trolled me a little bit. I guess I did unlock a bonfire, but... Then suddenly, it would seem the sleeping dragon has not found a new place to nap, and he is in fact very angry that I woke him up. So incredibly angry that he flies over and kills these 2 guards on this bridge. Now I feel extra guilty because I woke up the dragon and he's taking out his sexual frustrations on the local population. Returning to the temple, I start exploring again. I take the stairs and fall just a short distance. This is a horrible trap that I've literally fallen into. Jiji Game, you got me. After the run back, I take a look at these ghost men. By some level of voodoo magic, I can't damage them. I think this would surprise any normal person, but I think we all kind of expect this level of insanity in a Souls game. But it takes me a solid 30 seconds to realize the only 2 things in the whole room are these ghost men and the flaming armor. into the next room, I can see the area where I died. I use my bow and arrow to kill a strange, weird weed creature. And I even shoot at the switch. On the floor. The Sylvan people had a really weird obsession with switches and puzzles. Seriously, who designs a door like this? I mean, it could never truly be closed. I mean, there's always going to be a draft, either upstairs or downstairs. As I continue exploring, I get caught in another small fall trap. I instantly have like a miniature panic attack. But luckily this time, there isn't like 6 guards ready to kill me. Instead, I find a spiked floor room with a ghost man hiding in the corner. You can't kill the ghost until you destroy the armor of his, obviously, homosexual body armor. I proceed to run around like a madman looking for the flaming armor. The gay flaming armor. I find more ghosts. And then, of course, more ghosts. And eventually I get invaded. And if that's not worse, that's not as bad as it gets. There's also a fog door. So now there's a boss, right? The only thing I can really hope to do is to get the people far enough away from me, chasing me, that I can get through the fog door, and then hopefully I can down the boss. So I run back up. I turn around and I run back down to the boss room. But, of course, there's no boss. And I'm still being chased by ghost men and invaders and you name it. And to make matters worse, I've aggroed a large toad demon monster thing that fires dark magic out of its mouth. This was a great moment of extreme desperation. I was doing literally everything I could to survive, but reflecting now, this is pretty much the most Dark Souls moment ever. On my way back to my body, I saw this switch and a ladder going up in the spiked room floor. I hit the switch. I climbed the ladder, and I killed another weed monster. But this time, I look around and the ghost men don't follow me. Apparently they can't climb ladders, which is nice. And of course, moving forward, I run into more ghost men. Suddenly, I run into a room, and boom, there's all the armors. And then, of course, I died. But I know now what I need to do. It seems that once the armor is destroyed, it's destroyed forever. And that's handy. So basically, it's time to run in and smash all these flaming gay armor suits. I would still like to apologize to the gay community for my actions. The game made me do it. So now that all the ghost men are killable, I head back to the fog door. But of course, I'm gonna deal with the invader, Jester Thomas. I notice he uses a lot of ranged pyromancy spells. Got a line of sight him if I'm going to take care of him. But now for the door, well, the previously fogged door. And I walk through, and there's a lot of toad monsters, toad demon monsters. I explored the water area a bit, but I mean, I don't want to get aggro of any of these water toad demon things. There is, however, a bonfire down here, and that saves me from a very long run back if I die. As I do more exploration, I find a strange stone structure with a wheel on it, like a ship. At last, I can live out my fantasies of becoming a pirate. It asks me for an item, like a key, and it just so happens that I have it. The pirate wheel retracts, and I'm sad to say that my dream of sailing the seven seas is going to have to wait. But a bridge is erected up out of the water, and now I have a way to get into the temple. Of course, there's a shortcut to get back up there, because I'm sure as hell not going to run back to the bonfire and travel back to it. I really don't have anything to say during this time. I guess I'm just going to wait, or better yet, I could talk about the story of the DLC. In a nutshell, there was a king and a queen and the people of Shilva worshipping the sleeping dragon, Sin, the sleeping dragon. They built a giant temple around him, and as he slept, everybody prayed to him, except for the queen. Oh, I don't know. As he slept, everybody prayed to him. And suddenly, out of nowhere, King Vendrick, from the non-DLC portion of the game, sent Drake Blood Knights to collect the dragon's blood. You see, King Vendrick, he had like this weird obsession with collecting dragon relics. So much so that he was trying to build dragons. I mean, he built the ancient dragon in Aldea's Keep, and he also built Shanalot, the Emerald Herald. She's technically a dragon, part dragon at least, a human dragon. But of course she didn't come out as intended. Of course, Vendrick wanted the blood from this dragon, so he sent the Drake Blood Knights to kill everyone who stood in their way, even the king himself. They attacked the city, and, surprisingly enough, they won. Apparently the people of Shilva were not very good in hand-to-hand combat. But when they got to the sleeping dragon, they stabbed him in the heart, and poison spilled out. And this poison blanketed the entire city and killed everybody who was outside. course, after we've defeated the queen, there's only one monster left. Sin the Sleeping Dragon. I'm not really sure you'd classify him as a monster, but, I mean, there's a bonfire and then he's next. 2 bosses right in a row. The dragon finally found himself a place to sleep, and now we're gonna ruin that for him. That's right, I finished him off with my broken katana. What a great finish. I had no idea what was on the ground over here, but I walked over to it, and sure as shit, it's the King's Crown, the Sunken King's Crown. And thanks everybody for watching my playthrough. I know I missed some things, but I'll eventually find them. I'll, eventually walk through the area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.